Hello and welcome to the Artisan of Glimmith. I'm Tom, and this video will cover the red or the crimson plinth puzzles in the areas area number, Palisade, match here, mismatch on that side, and finally range here. Okay? We start off with area number. There are 4 difficulty 5 puzzles. One is here. So let's start with this one. Yes, we have a 15, a 14 and a 13. Altogether we have 42 tiles. 15 plus 14 is 29, plus 13 is 42, so we need to cover all the tiles with these 3 regions. This one has to extend out here first of all, and the question is how to arrange that, right? The first idea you could have, if it is possible for the 15 to go all the way up here to cover these, then sort of put the 13 in here, cover the top of the 14 thingies here. But that doesn't work because you need 17 for that. So it is highly likely that the 15 then has to go in here, right? Like this, cover the parts of the 14, at least here, but you already need 16 for that. On top of that, if you, let's make this a different color, the 14 can only reach 13 tiles like this, right? So you need one more, but you can't even take away any tile, because if you did this here, you wouldn't be able to reach up with the 15. So the only way to deal with this is to actually make the 15 go the other way around. And then you end up with exactly 15. So here you get 14 if you go as far as you can, basically. I mean, you could go up there also. There's no need to do that. So you have 14 like this. And the 13 will automatically cover the rest, and that's also why you can't go up here, because the 13 wouldn't be able to reach this part here, right? So once you complete those 2 regions, the whole puzzle is complete. 5 is here, is another one. So we have a shape bank with the area number 3, 4, 5 tiles. We have 2 of them. Let's start here in the corner. The 3 has to be like this. The 4 needs to move like this. The 5 goes out here. Then we only have a 4 in that shape, right? So the 5 has to move here, and is this 5 tile corner. That is not an L. Then we have this here for the 4. This has to be part of the 4 here. That cannot be completed like this. It has to be completed like that. Then the 5 must be this long L. Here the 3 can't go up, right? Because you're losing a tile, you need to complete it like this. And this tile here has to be part of the 4. The 5 has to be part of this 5, right? If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to complete this 5 there, so they have to be joined. And then you can think about if it's possible to join these 2, or what you can do. But first of all, you can see quickly that this is not possible, right? You can't put an L here like that, because the 3 wouldn't be completable. You need this tile for the 3. So let's put them at the same color, right? So, no, you can't join them, obviously, because you don't have that shape. And it also tells you that you can't do this with this 4, because you wouldn't be able to complete this one here. So this one has to move up here, and this one has to move here, and the 3 must move like that. What else? This tile here can only be part of something we don't know, actually. That's a tile that is not part of any of these clues. Like the region can't reach any of these in one of the given shapes here, right? So what else? The 3 can't be completed like this, because the 5 would have to take care of this shape, and there is no shape like that with 5 tiles. So the 3 must be completed like this, and the 5 then must be one of these long L's, which means the 3 is this here. And then you can actually calculate that. You have 22 tiles left. There are 7 tiles for the 3 and the 4. That leaves 15. So you have one of these, this one tile here, that doesn't add up to anything, can't be connected to any of these, must be a 5. And it can't be like this, it can't be like this. It then has to be an L down here, right? Which means this also has to be an L. And this here must connect to this one then, because we only have, like, what is it, 12 left, right? 7 for these two numbers and 5 for the above. And then this must be a long L, right? Yes. So then we have a 3 and a 4 left. Next difficulty 5. Yeah, here you have a total of 61. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 5, that's 40. Plus 21 is 61. So the task of this puzzle is to position these polyominoes so that all tiles that are not covered or not part of the polyomino regions must form one continuous region that can be reached by this area number tile, okay? And I think the best way to start this puzzle is actually looking at this one here, because it's not possible to connect this or draw this in a horizontal fashion, because you will always cut something off. You see already here that you have this cut off. Also there is a connection which will automatically lead to something that is cut off, right? You can do all sorts of things like this. You can't do it also. You could think of this alternatively, but the T will at least spin something like this, and then you have a connection like it doesn't work. So this one has to be in a vertical fashion. Could think of this, but then again you have this connection to this tile here, which will automatically lead to this being part, not be reached. This tile can't be reached by the 21 then, right? This version, wait, then this is not possible. Yeah, so you need to move inwards here. Question is if you complete it like this. But again, the T here will cut this off in one way or the other. You could do this. You can't move the T up, right? If you do this, it's obviously cut off. You could think of this, but then again you have this line here of polyominoes. So this is a must. Otherwise you will not be able to reach all the tiles with the 21. So how to position the T is the next question. We can just go through some options. That is not possible because you're losing these tiles. Let's turn it around. One like this, you will also lose tiles, right? You can't fill all this with this one here. If we do it the other way around, it's basically the same, right? So the most obvious thing to do, and also the right thing to do, is this. You can see these 3 tiles can perfectly and easily be reached with this one here. Let's lock those in. Now the S, I think it has only 2 options left to be completed. No, actually there are 3. This one is not an option. This one is not an option, because you're always losing tiles, which already tells you that you should probably move in here like this, just along the edge. That you also have some space to the U here, to this U polyomino. And then you can see that basically you must have a border here, because as soon as this one moves down, you will not be able to reach these tiles. So let's draw in this border, which tells you also that you can't have this connection anymore, because you would have this now with a tile lost here. So you need this border as well. And then you obviously can't do that. And why would you do that if you can do that, right? Well, let's lock this in. You can put the plus sign right in there, fit it in, and then you can see that there is a perfect slot for this one. Now you simply need to find the way to position this, which is just a lip, sort of like on the vertical axis, right? Like this and like that, and all the rest is connected to the 21. So there's another 5 here somewhere. We have a mingle shape with 2s and 3s in here. Let's start with the 2s. This one can only move down because it can't touch this one, and that's the reason why this only has to move to the right, so that these don't touch, right? This now cannot be a straight 3, because then here we wouldn't be able to complete it. And we also wouldn't be able to do a different shape, right? So this must be a corner 3. Can it be up there? No, because then you created the second corner 3 right next to it. It has to contain this 3 as well. Which means this is a straight 3. Can't go into this direction. Has to include at least these tiles here. Yeah? These 2. Can't be completed like this because you have a 2 next to another 2. And you can't separate this further down, right? So we have a 3 here like this. And then this 3 must be a corner 3. We don't know which way it will move. Well, we can actually say that it can't move like this, because then you would have the same shape right next to it. And again, you can't separate this down to a 1 and a 2 because of these 2 tiles here, these 2 regions that are 2 straight, right? So it must be like this then, this being 4, meaning you need a border there, and indeed up there you need a straight 3. Because of the corner 3 here, right? Now here, you could potentially have a straight 3 on touching anything, but if you do this, you will not be able to complete these 2 3s, or at least this one up there. If you do this, like there's the same problem rate, right? So could it be a straight 3 into this direction? Again, you would have this one as a straight 3, but you wouldn't be able to complete that at all, because you can't do the corner nor the straight version. Which means this has to be a corner 3. Corner 3 like this is not possible, because you get the same shape right next to it. It has to cover the other one like this, and then you have the option to connect the other 3 like this here. So they're not touching. Then you have a 2 here. Here you can not have a corner 3, right? Because this would have to be a straight 3, which is not possible. So that's a straight 3 here. And then, sorry, this 2 can't move down here because you would create another region of 2 right next to it. But it could still go here or there. That is not really known. So let's look at this one here. Can we have this in here? No, because then, regardless of what we would do here, this would create a 2 next to a 2. This would create a corner 3 next to a corner 3. So these 3, sorry, must be combined, right? So they can only move out like this here. We can lock this in. And now we can complete the 2 like this, so that we have a region, like 2 regions of 1 right next to it. And that's the completion of the puzzle already. Now, 2 difficulty 6 puzzles are here. One is behind the window here. There. This one is a bit more difficult. But these 6s here obviously have to be dealt with. They have to be part of a region with 4 symbols. And since you need 6 tiles, that means you always have to combine 2 6s together in one region, right? And since we have 3, 3, 3, 3, 12 6s, that means we need 6 regions of 6 tiles. The remaining regions include 4 tiles, 1 tile for each symbol, right? So to start off with, let's look at these 2 here. This 6 can only reach this 6 or that 6. Because you can't have, well actually, you could have more actually, right? Oh no, actually, you could in fact also reach this one here. Like there, right? Or going like this here. We have 3 tiles in between. That would also be an option. Actually, you would also be able to reach this one. I always was under the impression that I can only use 2. But let's look at this one from another angle first of all, okay? It's by looking at this tile here. This one will definitely have to go through the 6, because the 6 is enclosed by 2 different yellow symbols, right? So this one has to go into the 6 either like that or like this. Could also take both. That actually wouldn't be possible, because you would have 4 tiles already, right? And then you would need, you would only have 2 more tiles to reach the next 6. That would only be here, and then you have 2 yellow tiles in the group, right? So this is not an option, first of all. So let's look at the possibility of this here. If you put yellow and blue into this region, That means you need red and green. And the only way to do that and also reach another 6 is to do this here. You can also take red and green here, but then you can't reach another 6 anymore, and you need another 6 to complete this area, right? The area number. So you could only do this, but you would cut off the yellow symbol here. That means that you have to use this here, and also draw this border already. Sorry. And then you need green and blue on the way to the next 6, and that can only be this here then, right? There's no other way to complete this. So this can be locked in. Yeah? What we can take from that is... no, actually, I did this with the drawing, but I think it's not necessary, and it's actually not correct what I drew there. Anyhow, we can see here that these two tiles go through to a 6, right? And that means in turn that I only have 3 tiles left in this region, but I have to reach another 6. It has to be this one then. I need red and blue, but red could be any of these two. Blue must be this one and this 6. Yeah, so these are connected, but we don't know if it's through the red one here or through this red one. Also here, you could form a region like this or like that. So that's not clear. We can draw this in already, we can draw this in already, but the rest is unclear for the time being. So let's look at this region here maybe. We need to extend there. What else was there? There was something here also, or was there something there? I think there was something here somewhere. What was it? Yes, here this region, like these two tiles, can only reach this red symbol. That's something that I didn't think of before. As I said, I'm solving the puzzle sort of on the fly every time. I'm not really memorizing the solutions, because the only other red symbol would be this one, and that would have to be done like this. Like, I would need all the 3 tiles I have to get there with the 6, but I need to reach another 6, right? So if I can't reach this one, this region must include this red symbol, and then it needs green. Can only get that here. This one cannot contain 2 6s on top of that, so this must be a final region like that. Then we can draw this out here. This one needs another 6 now, but it could be any of these two, but it also needs to reach a red one. It could go like here, this way, right? Which other way could it go? It could go something like this here also. Yeah. So this is something you can't know, but there was something here. Let me go back to this. I think it had something to do with the yellow one. And the red ones here. Yeah, I think this is not possible. Yeah, this connection is not possible. As you can see, you will have tiles left there. This one would have to... No, actually it is possible like this. No, it's not possible. If this goes here, however, you could have something like this. No, I don't see it at the moment. The thing is, what I drew, but that was sheer luck then actually, what I drew there. I drew these lines because I always thought that there can only be 2 tiles maximum between the 6s, but that's actually not true. There can be more, so the conclusions were just luck that I found the right connections. I know that these two have to be connected, and these 2 6s. But actually, it would be possible to do this here, right? No, that's not possible. This is not possible because you have 3 tiles already on the way to the 6, so you only have 2 tiles left to get to the next 6, and that's not possible. You need at least 3 tiles, right? To this one here. So, that in turn means, if I can't do that here, this is the likely scenario, and then one of these red ones. but it's unclear which one. Yeah. But let's not draw this in yet. I want to think more about this here again, because I'm pretty sure... Oh yeah, I can't connect this 6 to that 6. That's what we just showed. So this 6 must be connected to this one, and this one can only be connected to this one. Yeah, let's draw this in. Yeah, that's it. Like this has to go somewhere here. Yeah, it has to be... No, actually this one I can fulfill already, because there is no way to connect it to this 6. Yeah, it would only be possible through this different blue symbol here like this, which is not possible. So yeah, this has to go here. We can draw this border here, this goes there. And then this needs green and yellow. This here will need green and can't reach any 6 anymore, so it has to be this green one here, which means this one needs to go green and then either red here or red here. Let's draw in the borders then. So let's see how we can connect these 6s together here. That's what we must do now. We can't... Oops, no, that's not correct. Wait. Let's undo this like this then. We can't do it like this, because we would leave a region without a red symbol up there. Since we have to do it like this, and this here... Wait, we could also do it like this, potentially. But then again, we wouldn't be able to do this with two yellow symbols here. So indeed we need this connection here at least, and we have a separate region up there. Here we have blue inside also, and we need green that can only be taken from here. Okay, so now we have the answer to how to complete this group here with the 2 6s. Here we have blue, yellow, we need to go into the 6, so given that we have 2 6s here now, 2 tiles already, we only have 2 tiles on the path to the next 6. So the next 6 is either this one or that one. We need red and green. We can only get those 2 on the direct path to the next 6 here. This must be true because, yeah, it's 6 exactly. Can't reach that one with green and red. So here we have a separate region then. Let's complete like this. And here we have another thing. Needs to reach this 6 then. We have red and blue already. We need green and yellow. Must be these 2 then, right? And then we have a square here, like this. This must be a group then, and that indeed means here we had this connection. Huh? Okay, the final difficulty 6 puzzle in this region. This is started by looking at this one here. The Gemini sign means we need a 3 in here, straight or corner, that doesn't matter, but here according to the Gemini sign we need 5, something of the area 5, and here we have 5. According to the Gemini up there we need 3 above this 5, so we can also draw a border here. That means the 5 has to move out of here and go at least there. We can draw this border and these 2 borders already, and then if it went here we wouldn't be able to complete this 5 properly, because we would either have to go here, like that interrupts the Gemini of the 3, right? And the other way around is forbidden by the delta sign. So this one has to be completed like that, as a large S, right? And then we need this here also. We can draw a border, because the 3 has to move here, right? And then we can only copy the S like this. There's no other way. So let's for a moment look here. The 3 must be a straight 3 then. This one must be a corner 3, which means here you can't have a corner 3, but this one can only be a corner 3, right? It has to move here then. You can draw this border, but it could go down or up. That's unclear for this time. And here we need those 3 at least. Now here you need to copy this S. Here you need to copy the S, and here as well, right? So how can you copy the S from here? It has to somehow start here, right? But you can't do this because you're cutting off this S, this 5 there. Alternative would be to go like this, but then here you would have to do this. And that actually looks okay. Yeah. Let's see, there is another way to do this. You could also do this here. Yeah? This one that would then have to be completed like this is not possible because of the Gemini 3 here, right? It would have to be completed like this, but then you copy this in defiance of the delta sign here, right? So that's not an option. And those are all the options you have from here with the S. So indeed what we had before, what was it, this? And that must be true. Which means here you can only have a 3 like that. This must be a corner 3. Which means here you also need a corner 3. And all these tiles here you need corner 3s. What else? This one can't move here, right? Because then you would have to extend the 5 out of here, potentially taking this one, and you would cut the 3 off. That means you need a separate tile here. The 5 has to move out like this, and there is a separate tile like that then, with the 3 going this way. So it has to go up. And then there is the only option that you can't do this because the 5 would cut off, right? You need to do this in this M shape, which you have to copy here. Yeah? So you can only do it like this. The 4 then has to move out here. You will have a 4 in here as well. That draws itself like 2 S's like this, right? Then here, sorry, just a second, I need to cough for a moment. Okay. So yeah, you need this border here. This could be a straight S, but this cannot be. So this is a corner, and this must also be a corner. Fits with the delta sign. Here we need a corner 3. You could do that like that or like that. I think there's... here we need... No, this can be a simple single tile cell because of the delta, so we don't know anything else here, I think. So let's look at the 6. We have 5 tiles before the 3, so we need to move out here at least, which in turn means the 3 must be completed in a straight fashion, and you have maximum 3 tiles here for the 6, so you need to add at least 3 tiles. One can go here. Even if you add one more here, no, let's see if we can add one here, in fact. Is it possible to recreate this shape or this shape or this shape down here? You can pretty quickly see that it's not possible. If you went up there, you wouldn't be able to get this long. Like, this is possible, yes, but you can't add anything here because you can't add it there, right? So you can't move up really. Like, you could think of this here, but there's just not enough space. Basically, you would have to move something, create something like this. Oh, actually, this would work. I see this now. This would actually work. Interesting. So this does work. Let's see if it fits with the rest. 3, 3. No, it doesn't. The 3 here. Oh no, the 2 could be complete. Ah no, here. This Gemini sign is against that, yeah. So as soon as you move something out there. No, actually this is a much better deduction now. I see this the first time I was trying around, but you can actually, once you are here with the 6, you can already deduce that these 2 must be connected, right? I know you could have a straight 3. No, there's not enough space for the 6. Indeed, that means that you need a corner 3 that is also here. So this must be a corner 3. You can know that. And then it either goes there or there, so it hinders the path of the 6, in fact. But yeah, like, there is no way to copy the 6. You have to complete it going here. You need a border there. But this could still be the 3 around it. 1, 2, 3, 4. You need one more at least going here. But you can complete it in both ways. The 3 has to be done like this now, which means it has to move here now. You have the 2 there. This one then must be a single tile like this. And here you need a 3. That means the 6 has to be completed up there. Okay, here you need a corner 3. That means you can't do that, right? If you did that, you would have to put a corner 3 in defiance of the delta sign, so it has to be here. And this one has to be a straight 3. Can't go down here. Also would not be in accordance with the Gemini sign. So the straight 3 has to be this. There is a corner 3 then. Here we need a straight 3. That can only be completed like this. This also has to be a straight 3 then. Here we need a corner 3. Only possible like this. 4 and 4 must be like this then. And then the 5 must be this down here. Yes. Okay, first window done. Now to the Palisade region. We have one difficulty 4. And that is here. We can start off by drawing out these first of all. Those are obvious beginning things here. And the next thing that I found was in fact this straight Palisade symbol here. And I saw quite quickly that this is not possible, because you would need this, right? And then in order to not lose this, like this has to be part of a region with 4 symbols, right? Or no, 2 symbols in that case. If you go in there, you can't go into this region anymore, right? Because you would be on both sides of the border. So that's not possible. You can't connect to blue, or you lose a tile. One of the 2 options. You need this connection here, like this. Which means in turn what, actually? This one has to... No, it could go here, but then it can't reach a blue symbol anymore, right? It would either have to go here, here. If it takes this one, we would have to extend it like this, and we would have 2 red symbols in the same region. I'll just do something here like this, yeah. So this connection is not possible. That means the only blue symbol this red symbol can reach is this here. Now, that also shows that I can't connect this like this, right? With another region here because of the symbol. So this has to be connected to this region here. We can draw these borders here. So which blue symbol? It has to go there. And then it can't be completed like this. Actually, it can't extend here, right? Because it would be cutting this one. This one has to extend, right? We need a border there. That's the better deduction, actually, like this. Also, we know that it can't go in here, because then we would have to join this symbol into the same group, which is not allowed. So this group is complete like that, or this region. So the red symbol has to go here and take this blue symbol. We know about this border, then this has to move down here. This would be complete. Both of them are complete, basically. And then we can see that this is not possible, because again we would be cutting... Wait, no. We would have borders here, right? And we would be cutting this off. I can't join this into this group because we have blue already here. So that's not an option. We need this here, like that. And the blue symbol, again, cannot go there, because then it would only be able to reach red like this. But this red symbol here would be cut off. So this cannot be connected here. And then it becomes apparent that these 2 have to be connected. And again, they can't do this for the same reason. Up here we would add another red symbol in there into this group. Like this. So we need to add this to this region here. And we still need blue. We can draw this border. It could be this blue. It could also be this blue, basically. We could do this here, right? With a border there. And a border here. But then this symbol couldn't be added to this group, right? We would have to do this. And here we would cut these 2 off. Yeah. If we connect this red symbol here to this blue symbol through this Palisade one-sided border, we're cutting these 2 off from each other. So that's not an option. You have to take this blue symbol and draw this border, which means here we have a connection like this. This one has to include the blue symbol, obviously, because it's caught in there. And then we can't do this, because here we would have two symbols, like we would need this connection, but that doesn't work, right? We need 3 sides open. That in turn means we need this here. This has to be connected to this symbol then. And here we have the final region. Big one. Okay, that was difficulty 4. We have 4 difficulty 5 puzzles. Let's start with this one. We have a precision 4 here also in a mingle shape. So this has to be completed like this. Here we have a 4 like this. Here we have a 4 like this. Those are complete. Here we have another shape of 4 like this. Here we need to move out. Can we move up there? Basically we could do this, but then we would end up with a region of 2. So that's not possible. We also can't do the T shape because we're right next to one, so we can't go up there. We need a border there. This then has to go here, and it can't cut this one off, so it has to be a 4 straight. This one has to move out of here now. Can it go here? First of all, that's what we should ask. It can't be a T. It could be an L potentially, but it can't be a 4 straight, right? Because we have that here already. So would that work? Then we would need either an S here or an L here, but both of these shapes are right next to it, so that's not an option actually, which in turn means like I can't have a T here, I can't have an L, I can't have a 4 straight. I need to draw a border there already and move up there. Now this could be an L, could also be an S, we don't know. So from this point on, I'm not really sure that there are really good deductions. Could think about if it's possible to have a square here, I think. Meaning... But I don't know. I know the solution, obviously. I remember this puzzle. But I'm not sure it's easy to deduce something from these things here now. From this layout, sort of. Like you always need to sort of fill almost the entire board to see something is not possible, okay? So let's have a look at this here. Is this possible? Yeah? You would have to extend here. Actually, that's the shortest way to figure this out. And given that this one can only reach here, and you have 2 left, you would have to build another S here, which is not allowed. Yeah? And that means you need an L here. Okay? Now from here, I don't really know how to solve this in a logical fashion. Let's see, you could ask yourself if this is possible. Okay, let's do this. Like, the question being if you can have a border here, basically. Because if you have a border here, now you could do an L, right? But then you would have to do a straight one, because you couldn't do another L. And then another L here with a straight one, so that's not an option. So is it possible to have this here? You'd have to extend this there, and look at the shape you would create. It's exactly mirrored, so you can't create 2 shapes that are not exactly the same. It's either 4 straights, 2 straights or 2 S's, right? So that means there is no possibility for a border here. You need a thing here like that. And now you can see that like you have 3 tiles left. One has to be taken by this shape. The other 2 have to be taken by this shape. Which means here you can't do an L. You must complete these 3 that are mandatory, right, as an S, and then you have a square in the center. I would like to know if there's an easier way instead of like drawing out the whole board here, but I couldn't find it. If you know something, please comment. Okay, the next difficulty 5. Here we need this to begin with, right? Which means we need a border there, because this one extends either here or there. Then this one has to extend here, and given that this is coming from here, we need another border from there now. Which means we have the same thing here again. And here we have this border and this border. Again, this one has to extend away, either like that or like that from the border. Here we need a border. This one can go like this or like that. And then we have this and another border here. Okay? So from here, it's important to look at these 2 dead ends here. Yeah? Let's start with this one. Can this be connected here? This would mean we have these borders, we would have a border there, and there would be a border here. We'd have to move up there with borders like this, and we would have to connect this. That's not allowed. Same region on both sides of the border, right? So this is not allowed. We need a border here, which in turn means this one has to move up there, which in turn means that this one has to be a border, and then these are connected also, okay? Now they could move like this, like in a zigzag shape, both of them, or this could be a square also, right? You could also do this, potentially. And for that we need to look at this here. If this one was connected to this one, we would have these borders here, which means it can't be connected to that one then, right? Because of the same region on both sides of the border. You would need a border here. This would move here with borders here now. And then it would have to move there with borders there. And you have the same problem here. One region on both sides of a border, which tells us that we need a border here as well. Yeah. This one has to move there, then we can draw a border here. And now the thing is taking shape. We need this connection here. This one has to connect here then with these borders here. And then here with these borders. And there we have one group, which is entirely complete, one region, because of the dead ends on both ends. This region has to be completed like this, including the dead end, otherwise that would be alone, right? This one has to go here and join this group. We can only, like from here, we know that we have to take this, right? So we have these corners here, so we need to also join this one. And this one has to extend there, because of this border here for this tile, or for the symbol. We need to draw this out also, and here we need an extension. It's not possible to extend because of that border here. This one has to go here, and according to this symbol, part of this group. This could still be a square, but here we have this shape now. This border shape, right? So we need this, and because of that border there, we need to connect these two here. This is complete. This one has to go there. Here we need borders because of this symbol, right? It goes like this. And that's why this puzzle is completed like this. There is another 5 here. Let's see, we need to extend this away here. This one has to extend away from the border. And this one has to extend away with a border there. Part of this also. Oops, so we can already do this and that. Extend it there as well. We also need borders here. Now there's something else you can see here. It's this, that this is not possible. Because you can't extend this to either side, right? Because of the borders that would have to be here. Okay? So we indeed need a straight connection all the way through here. With these borders on both ends. This one has to connect here. This one could be part of this region. Could it be? Generally speaking, yes. Can it not be part of this region? Also, yeah. We could complete this like this, right? With 3 extensions and a border here. This would be a 2 then. Alternatively, I could do this here. Yeah. But in any event, this one is part of this region. And we need this border here. Wait, no, that's not possible, what I just drew. Why didn't I see that? Like, I can't do that, right? Because I would need a border here, and I would have to add this dead end. Which means I would need a border there again. So that's not possible. This one has to have its border here, which means the border has to go around here also, and then it needs to extend here, like into these 3, right? So this one has to be part because it extends away from the border, right? So we have this, which means we can't extend it here, because again we would have 2 the regions, the same region on both sides of a border. And here we know now that this cannot be, this dead end cannot be part of this region, because for the same reason, the same region on both sides of a border. So it has to be part of this region here, the dead end. Okay. Oh, I forgot this one up there. What's next? This one has to extend away from the border, coming all the way here, which means you need a border there. And let's draw in the borders as well. Yeah, we can look at this region here and this one. Like this, this street here will either be positioned like that, meaning you have a border here. Or can we actually do that? Yeah, if this region is part of, if this symbol is part of this region, you will have to extend it like this, right? Okay, and if it's not part of this region, you have to extend it like this on top of that, right? Now, if you place or position the street in this way, and these two regions are combined, you again would have to extend this symbol like that, and if it's separated, you would have to extend it like this. So this one, these are definitive parts of this region with the symbol here. It has to extend into these two tiles, and like here we just don't know. But then it has to extend all the way through like this. Can't take this tile now. Okay, what else? You can say that play the same game here actually. Yeah. If there is a connection here, if this is like this straight symbol is vertically oriented, you would have this here, and if it's in a horizontal fashion, you have this for sure, right? So we can draw this in already also, and we can see that this one cannot be part of this region because we would have the same region on two sides of a border. So this has to move here now with a border here and there. And now, can we see anything here? Here we can see that this is not possible, right? Because this tile would either have to extend into this region, so that's not allowed again, right? Or into this area here, into this tile, which is also not allowed. So we need a border here. This one has to move there. We need borders here then. And here we don't know, but we can extend this region into that area, which means we need borders here, and this is a separate area with a dead end. So now this one has to extend here away from this border, right? We have these borders now. Oh yeah, and this one has to extend here with a border there. What's next? Oh yes, I can see that this one is not possible, right? I need to draw a border between them and connect this here, which means there has to be a border, which means we have a border here altogether. This has to extend here. Cannot include this dead end because again, two regions on one region on both sides of a border, so the dead end must be part of this here. This here would basically go into... Oh no, this one has to extend here. Why didn't I see that earlier? Right? Which means that this corner has to extend here. We need a border here now, because otherwise we would create a situation with the same region on both sides of a border. And this one has to go there then. Can't connect with this one because we have a border between them already. So we have this as the final connection here. I just need to draw this border and then everything is fine. Okay. I think there was 3 difficulty 5s already. This is the last one. So here we have this for this tile. This here has to extend away from the border, so that's 1. We have a precision 5, so I can complete this. This one has to extend away from the border. This one as well. This one has to go along this border here, right? Like this. which means I can't combine them because we have a border between these two regions already. Like this. This one has to extend away from the border, this one as well, so they are connected. And now we can actually look at this region here. Because this one can extend to maximum, and this one can extend to maximum also, right? No, actually only one, because we need one more here or there, right? So here I have a new region. And that shows you that, like, because of the precision 5, I have to fill it like this. I can't extend these other two regions, because then I would have a region that doesn't reach the area of 5 that is requested. So this one has to go here. We can actually do this like that. This one has to go like that, right? Because of the corner shape. We need a border here now. And we can extend one maximum into this tile, which means at the latest from here we need a new region with 4 tiles here. One could be there or there. No? That in turn means, what does that mean? Let's play the same game here. How far do we get here? We could get there. That's the maximum here, and we could get here. So we don't know about that one. But yes, we can actually see that this is not possible. Because here, I would be able to reach until here. This one has to be a new region. And given that this is a new region, we also need a U shape here, like there. This one has to then extend into this area. And can't do that, because I would need a border here or here, right? So I have to do this here. And then we have all our regions actually. Or is there space for one region that we... No, it's all the regions we have, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we have 7 by 7. No, wait, that can't be. 3, 7... Ah, it's 49 minus 5, minus 4 is 45. Yeah, 9 regions. So all the remaining tiles must be reached by the regions that we have already. We can't add another region. Also, you can see here, you only have 3 tiles left here. These can only be reached by these. Yeah, but you don't know which one to extend further here. Could do this here. That's unclear. This one can reach only one here, and I can't... Yeah. This needs 2 more. Which means I can't combine it with any of the other regions. In fact, if I did this here, I couldn't go there, because then I would have to go there, and that would add up to 6. So even if this goes here, it has to go there as well. Yeah. And then it can't go there, but mainly we have this here now. This has to extend there, and we have the long L here. So we have a new region here, which has to be part of this region now. Okay, that's 5. Which means that, oh yeah, this one can't extend there. This was actually a mistake already. We need a 5 here. And a... Oh no, I forgot about this one. Okay, sorry. I was wondering. It wasn't a mistake. This one has to extend here. So that we get 5 here and 5 there. Yep. Okay. So we have a 6 here. We did all the 5s, right? There's 2 puzzles left, 2 difficulty 6 puzzles. So let's do this. We need this here with a corner into any direction here. We need this here also. This has to extend away from the border. This one also has to extend away from the border, so we have these connected. Now, we can look at this here and see that this connection is not possible. Because if we did this, we would have to create this shape here, right? We have this long corner already. You would have to do this, which means I can't extend this here anymore, this tile. It means we need a border here, and that in turn means I can only complete this in shape of an L. On the top then we will also need an L. I can't connect these regions here. That means this one has to extend down like this and like this with the border. And in turn means that I can only have this shape now, right? I could do it like this, but like here we already have the corner, right? Has to turn down, and like this the shape is complete. Now we can see that this has to extend away from the border again. And then we need to look how we can copy this shape in here, right? Basically, we can ask ourselves first of all if it's possible to have a border here, because this will direct ourselves very well. But if we did this, we would have to create the shape like, now we could think of this here, but that obviously doesn't work. So the next best option is this one. But then you would have to create the same shape again here, right? This could only be done like this, and you're cutting this off here. So that's not an option to have a border there. We need this connection, which means we have a border here. I can't extend there, because then I would have to create the shape into this direction. That doesn't work. So I have to go there. Let's look at the two. This would be this, and then I could go there. That would basically work, right? But then here, I would have to create an L, and I could only create another L, which I'm not allowed to do. So that looks like it's not a valid option. To end this here, we need to extend it here at least. Then I would have to draw this here, however, which is also not possible. So let's do it like this then. And it's actually the only thing left that we can do. Yeah. So let's see how we can recreate the shape that we have. We could go 3 here, but then we can't finish it there. We also can't go there, right? Because that's not the shape we're looking for. These are not the shapes you're looking for. So here, you need to move into this direction and can only complete it like this. Yeah. And then let's see if it fits here. We have an L from here and an L from here. And this also has to be an L then. No? Here we need to extend away from this border again. And we can't complete a shape from the shape bank. If I move it into this direction, I have to go there and indeed create a U shape. Here we could potentially do this, right? But then here I would have to create the same shape, which I could do like this. But then I would end here. I wouldn't be able to create a shape of that shape bank again. And this is not an option because of the same thing. Like that's the maximum extent I can get here. And that's it. Like those are the only options I have here because of the dead end. So I can't do that. I need an L here. And that also must be an L then. Okay, so let's look here. What could this be? This could be an L, right? It could not extend there. Yeah, that's not possible. Because I don't have 4 in a straight line here. So indeed this has to be an L. Which in turn means here I need something else. So let's look at the Gemini sign here. Yeah. There is no way for this shape to go there, because I wouldn't be able to go in there. And I can't create this shape here. Oops. That was not right. So I need a border here. And if I have this border here, and there a dead end, that means I need to move into this shape here in this tile at least, which means I have to extend. And then the only way to create the U that I need is like this here. Which means here we need an L. We could also do this, however. So let's leave that open. Here we can't have a U, but like it appears impossible anyway. So this can only be an L, right? Could also be an L like this. Both ways are possible. So what to do here? Look, maybe we can look at this one here. Because I can't create this shape here. I'm leaving this tile. That is not part of the shape bank. So it's pretty safe to say it's an L like this. Or an L like this. Okay. Now if it was an L like this, again I wouldn't be able to recreate another shape of the shape bank. So it must be an L like this then. Which means here I can only have an L. And now it becomes apparent that I need to complete this L with this dead end here. And here we have a U shape left, which also means that this was indeed not possible, right? Or is not possible. Okay. So one more difficulty 6, which is here. Precision 5, there's this here in the center, good starting point. We can also see that we cannot connect these two because we would create a shape of 6 already, right? So let's separate them and extend them like this. We can go on down here. We need one more tile. Now if this tile was here, we would have to create something like this, which is possible here, but like I'm losing one of these tiles here. Either I do this, which is 5, or I do this, which is 5. So that means this one is not an option. I have to complete this shape like that. Now, what was the next step here? Again, I can't do this now, because this tile could only be reached from here, and we have a maximum of 3, so that's not possible. I need to draw this straight connection like that here, which means I need a border there as well. It can't turn here because we have a region that is too small. It has to go there with these borders, and then it can't go there because that's too big. That's 6 already. We need a border here then, which means this one has to be a border like that. Here I need to add 2 more tiles, right? Either like this and like that, or like that. We don't know where, but that means this has to be the end here, right? And given that this region can expand 1 tile into this area here, maximum, if we start a new region here, we need at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles like this. And then at least here a new region has to start, which tells us that we have to cut this off here, right? Like we can't cut this off, and this indeed has to move here at least. And here we have a complete region now. This one could still go in both ways because I can extend this here in both ways. But here we also need a new region, right? Even if it starts there, you need at least 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Okay, we can draw these borders. Here we need to extend out of this niche, which means we need this border and this border. We can't connect these groups, would be too big, and same region on 2 sides of a border. So we need to move here. Can't connect it to this one, that would be too big, so we have to go there with this border here, and then we finally can fill this corner to the end like this. Okay, and here we have to extend 1 more. Can't be here because we're cutting something off. It has to be here, a straight 5. This one has to go here now. It has to extend in there in order not to lose this tile. We need a new region here now. And wait, this one cannot extend here first of all, right? Because then we would have to extend further, which would create a size of 6. So we can draw this border. This one has to extend away, and now it becomes apparent that this tile here has to be part of this region, otherwise we would only have 4 tiles in this region. And we have 3 tiles left. We can take 1 from here, maximum, and 2 from here, maximum, right? Right, yeah, that should be correct, right? I have to complete this like that. I don't remember it like this, but yeah, looks correct. So we need an extension here, away from the border again. This one has to move here, out of this niche. If it were to include this one, I could only go there, right? I would not be able to go into this area here. So I would have 4. I would have to extend nonetheless, but here I can only extend 2 more. So this would add up to 6, which means that I need a border here. This going up. Now it can go in there. It could also go here. That is unclear. No, actually it can't go in there. Because if we do this, we end up with a region of 2 because of the dead end. This puzzle you always have to think 2-3 steps ahead from what you're looking at. So we need a border here. Interesting. Like this. This one has to get out of here. Could take this one. No, it can't take this one actually. Because we would need the border here. And then the only way to complete this, because we only have 4 here, is to connect it. But then we would have 5 and we wouldn't be able to get this tile inside the region, right? So indeed I can't connect this. Interesting. I don't remember these deductions at all. Doesn't matter. I have to connect to this one, and then I have to complete it like this. Yeah, okay. But this one can go both ways. Oh no, it can't actually, because we have this connection here now. So this is complete like that. Something comes out of here. Could go there. Could go there. Unclear. Wait, but even if it goes here, it can't extend there, because then we would have to go here again or there again, which is too big. So even if this one has this tile, this region, it will still have to extend there. Yeah. And then we can't do that now, because again we would create a region of 6, so I need this border as well. This has to extend away from this border then, which means we can't combine these two, because this one either is extended like this or like that, and we would create a region of 6. So we need a border there. And yeah, this can be taken by both of these regions, this tile. So let's look at this here. What was impossible here? I think this was impossible, because you wouldn't create a border here, and then you would have to go here, and you like, no, let's draw it like this. You would have this connection here for sure, right? And this region would have to go in there, that's 5, but you will have to extend this one either here or there, again creating a region of 6. And that means that this is not possible as an extension. You need these borders here. There is a new region here, and that means you have to add this symbol into this region here. The new region is an L here, and we have this connection. This dead end cannot be part of it. But it could go this way or that way, we don't know. But even if you connect this here, you still need to get out there, so we can draw that already with a border here. This connection is not possible because we have already 5 and we would have to extend it again, the corner, right? So we can draw a border there, which means this one has to extend away from the border. And what's next? Let's see, this tile here. Which region should get this? It could be from here? No, can't. Yes, it could be. Connecting to this one. But if I go from here, sorry, very tired still. Yeah, and that, in fact, we can look at this here, regardless of whether we have 2 here or 1. Like, even if we start here, we have to extend out of this corner, right? Like, even if the region starts here, it has to extend out. And like this, I could potentially combine these 2 groups, right? But if I did that, no, I would end with another 5 there. That would work. Like this. And like that. That all looks very fine, so let's not go on there. That's too many steps ahead already, like you can't follow what you did anymore. So there must be something else here, maybe. But I can do this. Oh yeah, I can't do that. Why didn't I see that before? Because I would need these borders here, and I would be left with a region of 4 only, right? Maximum 4. So that's why I can't have this connection. I have to go there. This one is a 5 straight then, and here I can't go in there. I can't join these 2 because of the existing border. We have a 5 like this. Now here this must be a P then. This tile has to be part of this region, which means we have to extend here. Could still take the P here, but like, yeah, this one can only be finalized like this now, this red region, right? Which means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this, and a U shape in the end. Okay. There is the second window adorned with jewels. Now to the match thing, which I pretty much like the least in this game. I think I made this clear in my previous videos. But these are not so bad. We have 3, 4, 5 and 6, I think. Let's start with the 3. So this is okay, as a puzzle we can try the L shape first of all. Like, the thing is, it doesn't really matter where you start, because in the end, like, you have to go along these outlines here. You can try all sorts of things, but it just doesn't work, yeah? Like, even trying this was already, like, you can see now you could do this potentially and this, like, it just doesn't work. It's a bit annoying, I think, because you you always think, did I overlook something? Is there another option? But basically, also the this shape here, Y doesn't work. You would need something like this, and given that you can only do that here, you would have to do this here and this, and then you end up with the impossibility. So it must be the U shape, and there, like, given this here, this cannot be part of, like, cannot be one part of a combined U, right? These two tiles, because you can't complete it. You definitely need a border here and here. Can complete it like this, and the rest completes itself actually. Yeah, it's not really a good puzzle. This one is a bit better. I approach this by just thinking, like, if I have 4 regions, they can't be too complex interlocking into each other, and that's why I just started drawing these things here. These are 5 shapes that are like likely to be copied, right? And then you would need another shape of 5 because we need 4 shapes. We have 13, and that's altogether, it's, what is it, plus 15 is 52. That's 4 times 13, right? So the obvious choice for this is here. Now here you can extend this, right? And then I thought, should I extend this here or there or there? And then I just thought, well, why not take the whole thing, draw it all out, and see if you can just adjust it later if it doesn't fit, yeah? So I did this, and I figured, oh wow, that's already the solution, because indeed it is. You can just add 3 more to each of the regions of 10, and that's it. So it's, I don't know, I mean, these puzzles are neither difficult nor easy. It just depends on the premise you enter this puzzle with, like what you try, sort of, right? And if you happen to have a good guess in how to start this puzzle, then they become very easy, actually. Yeah? The 5 is here. This one is a different one, yeah? This one requires some logic, I think. Not logic, really. It's trying stuff in advance. But if you know how to look and what to look for, then you can make this actually quite short. I think I found a way. I hope I can remember. Now, first of all, this one here has to extend out, right? We can't do anything like this because we're losing tiles. So you can draw this border, but that doesn't really help. You could extend both ways. I was thinking about, like, drawing a border and seeing how much you need on one side, on the other side, but none of this helps really. So the next thing to do is to look at this one and ask yourself, like, I mean, obviously you can't do anything like this here on both sides, right? You need to turn, right? You can actually draw this here. Here you can't do that, but here you can draw the border there, because if you don't have that border, you will lose a tile, right? So can you extend it here? Here you would have to extend like this, yeah? There's no other way, otherwise if you did this, you would lose this tile, right? So then you would only be able to do this and you would lose a tile. So there is your first thing that you can, like, know pretty easily, that you have to extend there. Now here you can ask yourself if this is possible. Then you would have to do this, no way around it, which means here you would have to do this, because you can't do that, right? And then here, for this, you need to extend out. And that becomes very apparent that you can't complete this here with all the shapes like this. You have to extend down, sort of like one more, right, on either side. So that's not an option to extend it down, up. But if you go down, you have this shape here that you can't complete. So that's actually also not an option. That's a, like, 4-step deduction already, but it is a valid deduction at least, which means you have to turn left. You can't do it like that. You have to do this here, yeah? And now you see already you have this here. Like, can you have a border here? This is what you can ask yourself now. Wait, let's take this away also. Can you have a border here? That means you would have to extend here. Here would you would have to go here. You could also try and go there, but then you're losing a tile, right? So you'd have to go there, and again you end up with this thing, which you can't complete up there. And you also can't complete it up there, because up here, down here, because then this one can't be completed anymore. And it tells you that these have to be connected, and the only way to complete this now is like this. Yeah? And then you know you have to do this here. This cannot be this, right? So it has to be this. Here you have to extend out into this direction. Here you have to extend out into this direction. This could be completed like this, but then again, you can't complete the shape up there. This would be an option, but here you see this 3, you can't do that. Yeah. So you have to extend down, and if you have to extend down, you can't do that. You have to do it like this. Then this one could be done like this. That looks fine. Could it be done the other way around? This doesn't look so good because this is 3. You would have to do it like this, and that doesn't look so good. Let's try the other one. I actually don't remember. But this looks good, right? And then you could do this here. And yeah, that's it. Yeah. Like this, you can sort of work your way through the puzzle. This would be the way, but you need to know where to look here, actually. But still, like, I mean, it's the obvious starting points. This here and up there. That doesn't help, but these two actually help quite a lot if you go a couple of steps in. And then, like, this border thing is a very important thing to figure out that you need one of the 2 vertical shapes in here. You could also maybe approach this puzzle by asking yourself if it's possible to complete this whole shape only with horizontal, only with vertical shapes. Oh wait, I didn't even go at these things here. Well, let me show you this, because this is very simple. Like the first shape, you can only do this, this, and this, and then it stops already here. Yeah, that's for this shape. I didn't even do that, man. Totally forgot about it. And the L is so obvious here that you can't do it. Totally forgot about it. So let's recreate the solution here. Yeah, what I was saying, you could ask yourself if it's possible to do this only with vertical shapes, right? But I don't know if there's an easy way to deduce this sort of. Maybe there is. For a mathematician, it may be, but I don't know that. Okay. So that was difficulty 5, and here is difficulty 7. Now this one is... It took me like, I don't know, 2 minutes to solve this puzzle. And I gotta say I was lucky also, but you can approach this in a logical fashion and come up with a solution that I found pretty easily. And it is by figuring out that, I mean, it's pretty obvious that you need, like you have 2 shapes only, right? They must have sort of the same edge, right? You can't have, if you have more shapes than 2, like 3 or 4 or 5, you can work around the edge of, like you can surround other parts, but if you only have 2 regions, as indicated by these 2 symbols, then you need at least 2 edges that are the same length, right? And you have here, you have 9. That's exactly 9. This is 9. And this is also 9, yeah? So I assumed, well, I mean, copying these shapes seems improbable that you can, like if this would be the same base sort of mirrored, right? It seems improbable that you can do this somehow, right? Because it's not vertically fit, like you would have to go around the corner, and it doesn't fit. So it's more likely that you have this as the same base, right? Somehow, I don't know how, yeah? And then I figured, okay, you have a long line here, yeah, that's left. You sort of like can't recreate it with this line here, right? Like you can, like it doesn't fit here in particular, right? So I said, okay, let's add this here. And then, like if you add it here, you have to add it to this shape as well. And look, it fits perfectly here. And from this point on, I already knew, okay, that's the solution, yeah? Because now you know that here you can't extend this here, because you can't extend this inside, right? So you need to extend the blue line again. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like this, yeah? Then you need to add 1 blue one, because I can't extend the orange line here, because the blue line is restricted. 1 orange and 1 blue one. Fits perfectly again, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. I need 2. I need 2. Perfect fit, right? 5 here. 5 here. 3 here. 3 here. 5 here. And 5 here. So, I don't know if you just approach this with a little bit of logic, it becomes very, very easy to find the solution, I think. So I'm not really sure about the difficulty 7. But yeah, I don't know. Just my 2 cents. Again, so let's move on to Mismatch, which I like much more. We have one difficulty 3 puzzle. Where was that? Was it here? This one? No, this one is it. Okay, we have a precision 4 with a mismatch, and we have 20. So that's all 5 shapes that are available in the like group of 4-tile regions, yeah, 4-tile shapes. We have exactly 5 of them. Okay, we have to draw all these out here. So from this point on, you can ask yourself what is possible here. This one will definitely be a T, yeah, that's clear. But about these extensions, it's unclear. So the next thing to figure out is what you need still is a square, right? And a square can only go into this general area. This has to be a part of the square, either like this, right, and so on. What I also figured was the following. What was it actually? T. Well, actually, I was looking at the 4 straight, yeah. But actually, you could put this here also, right? Which means you would have an L there. No, yeah, no, you can't do that, because this would have to be an L, and you would need another 4 straight here. Yeah. So the only place left, like this one, can also not be a 4 straight because you don't have enough tiles below that line. So the only place left for 4 straight is here. This is actually how I solved it. And then, yeah, the square has to be either here like this, and in fact it has to be here like this because this region can't reach this tile anymore. So we can do this already. We have a T here. So we have left an L and an S as shapes, and it can only be completed like this. Okay, one difficulty 4 puzzle somewhere. This was 5. 5, where is the 4? Is it this one here? No. Where is it? Down there, this was a 5, right? Did I write this properly with the 4? Maybe I wrote this down properly, because I seem to remember that there were a couple of 5s, actually. Oh no, I'm in Mismatch. I was just looking at match. No, we have 5 difficulty 5 puzzles, that's it, yeah. Oh yeah, this one. Okay, I'll just draw in what we know, or what has to be drawn in, or can be drawn in already. Yeah, I'm not gonna explain that too much. Wait, no, this has to be like this final one, like this. Here we need this, with a border here. This has to be part of this region, like this. Like that. We don't know about this one, but we know that we need a border here, and this extension. Oh no, this has to be part of the same region, yes. And then we have this here, and this extension, which means we have this also. I think that's it. So, what was the first thing here? We have a 3 here, yeah? That means that this one has to extend first of all. You can draw this border. But I think from here on out you can't do anything easy as that. I don't see it, at least. I mean, we know that this one has to extend at least 1. But it could also extend both ways. But if it's only 1, then we don't know where. Yeah. The thing that... Oh wait, I forgot this border here. The thing that I figured was that this is not possible. I was looking at these 2 piles, these 2 areas here. Because if I do this here, that means I will have to draw a border there. Which in turn means that here this one has to extend... I could have drawn this one out also already. But if I draw this border here, I can't do that because I would have a problem with the mismatch, right? I would have to extend this here, which means I have a single tile region here and here. Yeah, this was the one thing that I thought was the easiest to figure out, or the shortest deduction, which means I need a border here, and that in turn means I need this to extend, because I can't have the same shape anymore, right? So we have the 1 here and the 2 here. The 2 means I have to extend this. Yeah. And here for the 2 means I have to extend this. That is complete. What else? Oh yeah, I have this shape now. The 3 corner, which means I have to extend this one. And I have to extend this one. And since I have the 1 single tile shape, I also have to extend this one here. I have the P shape already, which means it's not enough to do this here, right? I would create the P shape. I need a U here then. And the final thing here is I can't create a P shape. I have to finalize this like this. Okay, 1 more 5 is here. This is best started by looking, like you can do this basically, but this could go like this with an extension. Could also go like this, right? Generally speaking. So we can put this in, but then it's time to look at this one here. We have a precision 5, right, with the mismatch. So this is only 4 here. And then you can easily see that you can only extend 1 tile in with these 2 regions and 2 tiles in with this one, creating a shape like this. That in turn means that you need another 5 tile region like this here and 2 tiles extending out of this niche. This here can only be completed like that. I don't have to explain this in detail, right? And then you have 5 like this. And from here on out it became quite difficult, I think. But what I did first was like to look at this, if this is possible. Like here you are left with 10. Yeah, that would actually be possible now. There was something else. There was something that I was already able to deduce. Here you're left with 6. Yeah, that would fit very well. But then you have the same shape twice, like this and like that. You see that? It's either like the zigzag or this strange thing here, the water cock or whatever you want to call it. So that's not an option actually. But it's not about this. It's just that it's not possible to do this here. I need this border here, right? I can also draw this border already. And this one, yeah. So, but we don't know anything else, actually. And I'm not sure what is the right way to deal with this here. Let's see. I have the T. Maybe, no, there was something. Was there this here? Is this possible at all to extend it there? Yes, it is possible like this. If this goes here. But the problem for me in this puzzle is that it's unclear. Like this, and like this you can complete it with an L here, right? Basically, we don't have that yet. And if you move into this direction, you can create this here. Or even that. No, we have that already, right? Like this. So there is nothing to see from this simple thing, and you will have to go 1 or 2 steps further, I think. But what that shows you actually is no, actually you can see from here that it's not possible. Here would have to extend out of this region, right? It's a long deduction and it's almost completing the whole board, but then you would either have to do this here, which is an M, or this here, which you will have up above there. Yeah? So there's not an option here. You can't do it like that. Yeah. It's a very long deduction, and again, it's almost filling the entire board to see that it's not possible, which I don't like. If there's something better, please let me know. But we can know that it has to extend here now, and then it can't do this because we have that shape already. We have to use this. This has to extend there then. And then here you can already see this must be a plus. Yeah, no, you can't look for the plus sign here, and you have this there, right? No, because you don't have all the shapes, like there's 45 I think altogether. Then you could have looked for the plus. I think I'll do that later in one of the puzzles. Here we have a mismatch and we have 60, so we need all available shapes here. And that can help, maybe, I don't remember exactly. First thing to look at is the plus sign, I think, here. You can't move it down, you can't move it to the left. You can't do like that, because here you have 4 maximum. Even if you did this, you can't reach everything, right? So this can only be pushed to the right. You can't move it down and you can't move it to the left, which means you need 5 in here. You can't do that, right? Can you take one like this? No, because then you would have to go here, or like this, creating a forbidden shape here, right? Or you could, no, you can't go there because that's not enough space. So indeed you can already say that this has to go all the way down here. And then you need one shape from here, like this has to be this one, and it can only be completed like that, right? You can't turn it the other way around. So you have 5 like this here, and then you have 3 coming here. So let's look at the T now. Can you complete it like this? You would have 13 up there, that doesn't work. Then you could do this, right? But again, it's only 13. Now the only way to move this is up, like this. Can't move it in any other position. Wait, actually you could also do this, actually. That's the first time I think of this. That's 12. Also doesn't work. So yeah, the only thing that does work is this one here, and you end up with 10, which is perfect. So let's lock this in. And then you have one thing coming from here, one thing coming from there. This could be a U and a P, right? It could also be an L and a P. So we don't know what it is. Or do we have the L somewhere already? No. But we definitely have a P in here. Let's remember that. I hope I can remember that. So, next thing to ask ourselves is how to complete this here. U and P or P and L? Wait. This one, no. Oh yeah, we can go on here actually. This one can't move into this direction, because it would have to be completed like this corner thing here, we have already, or like this here. Yeah. So that's not an option. Ah no, wait, I could complete it like this also. And that is still available. So it can move there. Can it move here? Well, yeah, if it is the L that we could potentially use there. No, so we don't know anything here yet, I think. No. No. So let's go on here. How can we complete this one? This is actually quite difficult, I'd say. Second. Like, can we move into this tile maybe? No, yeah, we can, like, because that's, like, I guess this is the obvious shape, right, to complete this. But maybe it will prevent us from something, and there's another one. So let's look what else we can do here. Like, assuming we have a... Can we assume that we have a border here? Then we would need another region coming out here. It can't be part of the U because we wouldn't be able to complete the shape. We'd have to move here. Can we complete this? It would have to be like this. We can complete the shape, yes, but we would lose tiles. There is no other way to complete this because we can't go into the U tile. Otherwise we could do something like that, right? Or like we can't go here because we're missing a tile. So no, you can't do that. This one has to be connected up there. Then can we have a border here? Is the next question. It could be this tile, cannot be this tile, because I would have to extend there and then do this, which is not allowed. It would have to be this tile then, yeah. It could be this tile also, but then we would have to do this, again losing a tile. And if it's the bottom tile here, we would have to do this, again losing a tile, yeah. So that means that's not an option, we need to do this, and from here on out, like, it can't be this one, because we would have to extend it there or there. It has to be this corner here, with this extension, as I said before. Now, if we don't connect this, it's actually not an option, because then we could only do this here, losing this tile, or this here, losing that tile, yeah. So we have to connect them. Now we have the U, which means the P must be here and the L there, which means here I can't extend this here anymore, because then I wouldn't be able to do the straight. Oh no, I could do this again. So it has to be this, by the way, yeah. We have every other option is gone already. Yeah. Okay. So now what can we put in here now? Probably made a mistake somewhere. That doesn't look good at all. Oh no, we need the zigzag still. That's actually the way I solved it the last time without this thing here, because I figured the zigzag can only fit in here. But yeah, we still have the long S, so thank God this is solved. How many do we have now? We have 44 or 48. We need to get to... Wait, what? Ah, 46, yeah, we need to get to 46. 2 more difficulty 5 puzzles. This is a 6. Oh, there was one here, I think. Yep. Oh, this one is a good puzzle, yeah. We have these extensions here. We have a precision 5 and a mismatch. Okay, that's what we have to draw. Now the place to start is by looking at these 2 tiles here. One of them will have to be this zigzag extension, right? And the other one will have to extend like this. Like this or like that, yeah? So I'm going to leave this in now, just for demonstration purposes, like this now, yeah? Because this tells you that you cannot extend this here. Like, you can extend this here, but you can't complete the shape here. Like this, because both shapes are here, right? This one is here now, and this one is this one. Could be the other way around, but yeah. So even if you go here, you will still have to go there, okay? And that tells you that you have 4 L's here, yeah? And these L's have to take all available spots to complete them at the top. Like, let me show you. If this one would go like here, you can extend an L like this to the top. You can extend it here to make it a U or an S. So you can make it a long L, a U, or an S. And these are the 3 options to complete these 3 L's, okay? Which means you can't complete this L like this anymore. You need these borders here, which means this shape has to be completed like this, okay? And now you can say this has to be the S shape here, which means here you need the long L and the U. Yeah? You can't do the U here, because then you would have the long L there and you would lose a tile. It means this one has to be the U and this one has to be the long L. Okay? You have another extension here now and here. Yeah? Which means there is a border and you need to complete the shape like that. This one has to move up then. And then the only way to complete this whole puzzle is like this. It's a nice puzzle. You need to think about the relation of the shapes together, and I found this quite interesting. Here we have a difficulty 5. This is actually quite similar. Yeah, we don't know anything here yet. We have a precision 5 with a mismatch. And we need all, like, this is 30 here, like both sides have 30, so we need all the available tiles, combinations of 5 tiles, right? So how can we extend these here? Yeah, we can't extend them. These 2 we can't extend on the sides. So one has to be a P either like this or like that, and the other one has to be a T. Those are the only ways to extend these. Yeah, which means for this tile, or for this shape here, these are no options. This one has to extend to the side. Yeah, either here or here. Means first of all we can draw this in already, okay? And then we need at least a new region here that has to move out of here, which means this one cannot become a T. Yeah? I don't remember these deductions, but they do sound pretty logical, I gotta say. Now I could still do this and that, or I could do this and then extend it here and there. Yeah. So this is something that is not known, but I know that here I have to create a P now, and I know that this one has to be a new region, right? Because, well, I knew that before already, that this has to be a new region that has to sort of move into this area here. Let's mark this blue as well. Could do it like this with a P here, or whichever way. So how did I move on here? I don't think I did anything. Oh no, wait, this has to be a P. So at least this border I can draw in already. No, wait, this has to be the T. Oh, totally forgot about that. Oh, so now this is clear then. I need these at least, but I could do this or that. P is not allowed, it has to be here. So indeed it has to be the S. Okay. And now since we can't do the P anymore because I can't extend there. So the P has to be down here. And this is a region like this that could be completed either in this fashion or in this fashion. None of these shapes are taken yet. Yeah, here we have the long L, and here we have a straight one. So let's draw this one in, and let's look at the bottom now. I think, the only thing you can know is that this shape here must be completed like this now, because this is the only one where you complete it like we had these three shapes, right? You can't complete it on that side anymore. You have to add the fifth tile at the back, sort of, and you can't do it here, right? Because of the border that you need there. So it has to be shaped like this in any rotation or orientation. That's unclear, but we know that this has to be the shape, yeah? So since there's nothing else, I just figured, okay, let's go with the plus sign again. I mentioned that before already. And indeed, there's only one place where you can put it. It can't be here, yeah? Can't be here because of that sign. You can't use this also because this can only be a border here, right? Can't be here. In fact, this entire line cannot be part of this. You're cutting this one off here, right? And here again, you have single tiles. So it must be somewhere down here. Can't be here. It also can't be here because you would have to do this and you're losing this tile there. Then next one is this. This one would be, you couldn't complete that anymore, right? You can't do it like this because of this tile. This one cuts this one off, and the only thing left is this one then. And this must be then the right positioning, yeah? So now you have a 4 here. And remember, this one had to be extended in a certain fashion. I don't know if we can actually deduce this yet. But you also have to move out of here. This is not an option, right? No, we can't do this now. Because then I would have to put this region in like this here. And I couldn't extend it to the back anymore. And I'm not allowed to extend it to the front because T and P are already gone. That means this one has to go there and this one has to be part of this region, and indeed then it fits. Yeah? Then we have this here. We have 3 already. What do we have of this one already? I don't... Do we have a 5 straight? Oh, we can see already with this L that we created here that I can't do that anymore. This has to be a 5 straight, and this is the wavy line. So if I extend this here, I can't do this, I can't do that. I will still have to do that. Yeah. So this is a must, but I can complete it like this if I'm not mistaken. or like that, right? Ah, no, I can't complete it like that. I have this shape up there. So it has to be this. Okay. Then we need to go through here. Do we have a U yet? No. So that's the U. And then we have the corner shape. Okay, all difficulty 5 puzzles are done. There's one difficulty 6 that's here on top of this little hill or mountain or whatever. Yeah. So here, because of the mismatch, you can see that this is not an option. Because you would have to create the same shape again right next to it. You need to start here, right? Go all the way there like this. And now you can see, what was it? That this is not an option. Yeah, you can't have a border here, because then you would have to create the same shape again here. Can't do 5 in a straight line anymore, right? So you need this connection like this. But here you can't have a border here, right? Because then again you have 5 next to the other 5. The next is actually irrelevant. Let's see how far we need to get. We have 5 here, so we at least need to go here. Yeah, and that's already 5 now. So here we have to move like this. We could do both ways. This one has to be an L now, right? Can't do that. Has to be an L, which means that this one, if it goes up here, can't be completed like this, can't be completed like this. It still needs this tile here. Now this can't go into this direction. We can draw a border here, but it can basically complete it like this or like that. Okay? So is it possible to have a line here? Then we would have to complete this first. Like the minimum extent of this tile is 2 into this direction and then go here, even though no, it would have to go there actually, like to leave space for this. But here we would end up with another L, even with these 2 tiles only. So that's not an option. This one has to touch down here, like literally speaking. We can't complete it like that because again, we have the same problem that I mentioned before. So this one has to also extend into this tile. Yeah. Then it obviously has to go up there, but where it points, sort of, that is unknown. Okay. So what did I do next? I think I was asking myself if it's possible to have a border here. Yeah. Then I would need an extension of 3 at least here. And here I would end up with a 5 straight or a 4 long corner. So that's not an option. These have to be combined. And then I figured, what was it? Yes, I have the P here already, right? And that means I can't do that. Because I would need another P here then, up there. But I have that here already. That means I need a border here. Now, if I were to extend this out here, like draw a border there, I would end up with an L again. So that's not an option. This one has to be part of this one. It has to extend here, and then in order not to copy the E and not to cut this one off there, it has to be an S. So here, we can go here, but we can't complete the shape like this. We have to add this one as well, at least, yeah. You have this sort of the same situation as down here, yeah. But yeah, we have either this one here. We don't have that yet, right? And that would be this one. Or we have this one, which would be this one here. And we can't have this one because we already have this here. So there is a border here. So these two complement each other. If this one is like this one is like that. That would work actually, I think. Yes. And let's see what happens if we do this. Then I would have this here. No, I can't extend it there. Like I can't do the L, right? Can't do the S. I would have to extend it here and I could try this. This one would go here, but I would recreate the P. Yeah? And there's no way around it because like all these tiles are right next to the corner. There's no way to prevent that. Yeah. So this has to be the other way around. Like this and like that. Then we have this here. And here we have this at least. We have 2 more tiles for this one. We can't do an L here. This must be a U, which means this must be the plus and this is a P. Okay, before I do the 7, I need to drink something for a moment. Just a second, please. Okay, and I'm back. So that's down here somewhere. Where is it? There, the back. Oh yeah, this one is indeed a tough one, and I'm not sure that I found the best solution for it. But let's start with the borders, and I hope I can get my points across properly. Okay, this blue tile, we can extend this one actually, but that's it. This blue tile can basically only reach this red symbol or this red symbol, right? So it has to move there. Can draw this border. And this one also needs a border and needs to go here. You can also see that this tile can only be reached by this region. If I, for instance, did this here, I would have to connect this blue symbol to this red symbol and could only reach here. Yeah, because the red symbol doesn't reach any other blue symbol, right? So I would have to do this. And alternatively, if I connect it to this one, then this is also part of this region, right? So this has to be part of this beige region or whatever you call this color. So what else was there? Oh yeah, I remember now. I think again, like the next thing, and I think it's the best way to proceed. That you can actually deduce here that this has to be a T, but I think it's easier to do it the other way around because you need to do that anyway. And it's again where to put the plus sign, because we have 2 times 30, right? This is 30 here, this 2. That means we need all variations of 5 tile shapes, yeah? And with these corner blue symbols, you obviously can't use a plus sign. Here the plus sign is forbidden with the borders and the other shape. You can't fit it in here. Like you don't have blue symbols and red symbols close enough to each other without borders, yeah? Here it doesn't fit in there. And here these 4 red symbols are like immediate rule outs, like you can put them aside. It could only be these 2, yeah? Now this can only be done like this here, but you're cutting this off, yeah? There's no other way. Like, yes, you can take 2 blue symbols, but it doesn't work. Or you can take no symbol, but that's not what we want. This is what we need. This is what we need for the blue, for the plus sign. And here, given this border, we can only complete it like this. It's the only position for the plus sign in this entire puzzle. Which means here you need at least a long L or a U, but it's unclear. You also have to extend out of here. And yes, now that we have this taken here, this could still be there. No, this doesn't work actually. I never looked at it this way. Yeah, no. It's not enough. Because like if I do this, let me just spell it out, like this doesn't fit there anymore. That's 6 already, right? I would have a red symbol available, so I need to combine this as well. But this one could be a T or a P or a long corner. So this is unclear, but I need to connect these 2 because this red symbol can't reach this blue symbol anymore, or this one as before. What else? Is it possible that... no, wait, I have this still. Wait, just a second. Yeah. Wait, the microphone is always doing something here. I'm hoping the sound is not too bad. Okay, what was the next step? I think it was already looking at the possibilities for a straight 5. Yeah. Where you can have a straight 5 now. Because basically, let's look at the red symbols. Like these three you can already rule out. This one doesn't have 5 anymore. This would be the only one available on this side of the board here. But here you would only have 4 tiles left for this region then, right? So that's not an option. You have to look here. This one is not an option because you have a region of 2 blue symbols there. This one, you don't have a blue symbol. Here you don't have a blue symbol. Here you don't have enough tiles. Here you have 2 red symbols. It can only be this one. Yeah? You can deduce this in a different fashion, but I find this much nicer actually. And then you need the T here. This one has to be extended like this, then you need a border here. And you can't extend this here, because then you would need a border here and a new region that can only reach these 2. In this way also, and you would create the same shape twice. So you need a border here, and then this can't extend here, because you're losing a tile. It has to be this wavy line, which means you have something coming out here. But this one can be completed either like that or like this. No, like this is not possible. But a P would be possible. But you could also do it as a long L. Yeah? So that is unclear. One of these 2, we can leave these 3 tiles in. And what was the next thing I was looking at? Yes, I know now that... no, it's not true. Yes, we have the T here, which means I can extend there, but I can't extend there anymore. I can still have the P or this one. So I have to add this one here. Yeah, because I either have this or this shape. None of these are taken yet. And in fact, maybe we should look at that now. Yeah, actually, as far as I see, like, is it possible to have this shape anywhere else? Yeah, here you can't do that. You don't have enough space, or like with this tile here, no, it doesn't fit. Also here, the only way would be something like this. This is not possible, so you can't have this shape in here. There's not enough space. Here you can't have it. Here you could have it actually. No, you can't have it. That would be a P and another P. Doesn't work. And here, like in this red symbol, no, it also doesn't fit. Like I don't see how. It doesn't work there. It could be this, but you would cut something off. No, it doesn't work anywhere else. This would create a... no, that's too small here. You can't do that, obviously. No, actually, there is no way. Yeah. The other thing that I did before was looking where I can have a U shape. Because you can also figure out that this can only be... there is no other place for a U shape. You can't have that here, you can't have it here, you can't have it there. And it has to be U shape. There is multiple ways to solve this. I'm just picking one. So let's put this in here. Let's see where we can go from here. This one has to extend here. Now it's actually time for the U shape, I think. Here it's easy to see. You can't do that anymore with the available space that you have, right? And like all the blue symbols are in corners, sort of like, can't do that. And here the only tile available, like this one, doesn't work anymore, right? And this one also doesn't work anymore because you need to extend out of that area there. So you can't have a U anywhere else but here. Which in turn means that here you can't reach this tile with any other region than this one. Yeah, Because this, like from here, if you reach it from here, then you're cut off. This definitely needs this tile. Also this tile, and indeed this has to be the P. Yeah. Like you can't do this here, right? So you need this tile here, and the P is either here or there, which in turn tells you that you can't complete this here. You need the L here, and this one then has to extend like this. You need this connection there, and this then has to be completed like this because we have the L already here, right? So this is the long S. So this, like since we only have 4 tiles here with this blue symbol and this red symbol, like you can't create a P again, right? You have to take the other red symbol, and like what I didn't show is that you can't do anything like this here, right? Like or like this. You're separating the regions inappropriately. So this is the only way that works. It's also a shape we don't have yet. So now here this strange shape, I don't know what to call this still, is the only thing left for these 2 symbols, and then you go up there. Yeah. So that's the mismatch region. That were the most puzzles in this video. Let's go to the range. I still didn't think of checking the watch when I started recording, but I'm probably 2 hours in easily, right? Doesn't matter. We have how many? 6 puzzles here. 1 difficulty 3. That's right here. I think these were all a bit easier. Here the plus sign is the obvious starting point. It only fits in like that. Then you need to extend 3 here with a border there. Here we need to extend with a border there also. You can't go there because of the L. The L can only be completed like this now. And here, since you need 3, this has to go this way. Here you need 3. Here you need 3 at least, and 5 maximum. You have to add this to this region. 5 and 3, yeah. So here you need at least 3. This region cannot be added. Like you can't add anything to this region to create this shape, right? So it needs a border here, and then you need to complete this region. Now that there is this border here, there is basically only one way. Before you could have done it like this, but now you can only do it like this, as far as I can see, at least as far as I can tell. I don't think there is another way to draw this. No, there isn't. Which means you need 3 here and here. Oops, not there. Here only. This has to be 3 at least. Here we need to extend out. Has to be a 4. This is also a 4. Which means we have 3 here, and this is a 4L. Okay, that was indeed simple. Nice. Let's see. We have another difficulty. No, we have 3 difficulty 4s now. One of them is right here. No, wait, there's a 5. I thought this was a 4, so this must be a 4 then. Yes. We have a mingle shape. All regions have an area between 4 and 6. The range tells us that these have to be combined. If that wasn't the case, they would all have to be drawn out, right? But I would create a shape of 1. 1 tile only. So that's not allowed. We need this here. And then we need to extend out of here and out of here. Yeah. This one can't go there. What's the next thing here? There was something with the... Oh yeah, with the plus sign, right, yeah. I can't complete it like this now, because it would touch the plus here. And I also can't complete it like this because of the range, right? That's only 1 tile, I need 4 minimum. I also can't complete it like this because of the mingle shape. So the only way to complete it is in fact like this here. And since we have range 4 to 6, I have to go here at least. I can't do that. And since I can't recreate, or I can't do this because of the mingle shape, that indeed is an, oh come on, an L, like this. Now here I need at least 3, here I also need at least 3, So we have this and a border there, which in turn means that this cannot be completed like this. It must be completed like this, right? This could extend out of here still to a 4 or a 5 or even a 6. Yeah, and indeed it has to, because I can't recreate the same thing unless I have to go in there with this shape. Let's see how to finish this shape. Can we have a border here? That's the main question. We have an outer line of 3 by 3 here, right? So the only way to finish this would be like this, if there is a border there. And that doesn't fly with this single tile there. I could also do this, actually. That would work, right? Oh no, I would have the same exact same shape above it. That's funny. I didn't even see that when I last solved it, I think. So yeah, that's not an option. And I think that shows that this must be the right way to solve this. Which in turn means that I need 6 here, because otherwise I would have the same shape neighboring each other. I hope this is correct, I'm not sure. And then we have this here. So how to complete this tile now? I can't move there, because then I'm losing this tile there. I need a border here. But then I can complete it either in this fashion, right? Or like this. Alternatively, even like this. But here you can see that this doesn't work. This does not work because I would have a region of 2. This... Oh wait, I need a region of 3. Oh no, 4 to 6. 3 doesn't even work. So there's my mistake. Yep. Let's do this all. Let's undo all of this. So I need to extend out there already. I sort of misread this. So that's not an option here. I can't have a region of 1, so I need at least this one here. But that means that I can't extend up there, okay? That means I need this 6 here. So I simply need to find a different way to complete this. Simply. Oh yeah, obviously I can do this also. There would have a region of 2 now. So I have to do it the other way around. That's a 6. That's fine with me. So I want this color. Okay. So now we can focus on the U. We need these tiles for sure. Either like this or like this. I can't do that right anymore. So these are for sure. If I did this here, I would create something that is only 3. Yeah? I wouldn't be able to prevent that. So it must be this here. We will have 3. This can't be part of this, so there has to be 4 at least, like this. And this has to be completed like that then. Now here I can't do that, right? Because I'm touching the same shape and I can't extend it, so this has to be a T shape, which means here I have this extension. There has to be a border here, so this goes up 4. And then the only question is where it moves. This shape here, this region, needs to include this tile there, and it needs at least 4. Could extend it by 2, have to extend it by 2, because otherwise I would have a region of 2. So this has to be a 6 like this. And then I can't do that because of the P shape that I'm creating. Same is true for this extension. It has to be this and a U. Okay. There's another 4 here. No, that's a 5. This is a 4. Let's draw on all the borders first. That really helps me visually. Here, oops, not like this, and like that. And one here, one here, one here. Let's start with this one. This has to move out 1. This one then has to move out, this one has to move out. This one can't change anymore, so that's a 2, okay? This one must be a 3 straight then, which means this one must be a 3 corner, because you have 2 straight and 3 right next to it. We have a range, right, with a mingle shape, so you only have these 3 shapes, 2, 3 straight, or 3 corner, okay? 3 corner is required here. This then must be the 3 straight here. This one is at least 2. This one also must be at least 2. And this one must be 2 at least. Now this one can't be extended to a 3 straight, because we already have that next to it, so that must be a 2. This one can't be extended. We can draw this border already. It can't be a 2, it can't be a 3 straight, it has to be a 3 corner. This is a 2 here. This then must be a 3 straight, because we have the other 2 shapes right next to it. Here we need a 2 at least. This must be a 3 corner, because you have 2 and 3 straight right next to it. So that's a 2 here, that's a 3 corner. This cannot be a 2, because of this shape here. Can't be a 3 corner, it must be 3 straight. This could be a 2. No, this tile cannot be reached from anywhere else. So this must be a 3 corner. It means here we need a 2, because we have 3 corner and 3 straight here. This one can be 2, this one can be 2, this must be 2 now, can't be extended. We have 2 2s next to it, this is a 3 straight, which means this is a 3 corner because of 2 and 3 here. This tile here cannot be reached by this symbol, because that would be a 3 corner, right? This must be a 3 straight then. And here, this one has to include these 2 tiles, even though it could be a 2 only. What else? This one has to extend out of here, this there. This one has to extend here, this one there. Borders. This one, this tile cannot be reached by this one. 3 straight next to another 3 straight is not allowed, so we need this as a 3 corner here. Which means this one could be a 2 or a 3 straight now. This one cannot be a 3 corner here, this region, because there is this already. So that has to be a 2, which means this is a 3 corner. This then has to be a 2 at least. This one has 2 and 3 corner next to it. It has to be a 3 straight, which means this one cannot be a 3 straight. This must be a 2. Same is true for this one. This one has to be a 3 corner then. Like this. That's a rather simple puzzle. Just need to keep your focus, sort of, right? Now here it's all about like drawing it in a proper way. You have 49 tiles, 5 regions, 4 must be 10, another one is 5, okay? So what is a must? This is a must. This is a must. This is a must. This is a must, I would say, yes. And here, this is a must, okay? So how much do we have left here? We have 6, we need 4 more. Here we need 4 more, here we need 4 more. We have 4, 4, and here you can already see the problem. If you add this up here, you can't add anything anymore, yeah? Here we need... Well, one of them could only be 9 actually, so one of them could be 3 more. But the obvious choice for this one is to add this here, right? Maybe you don't even have to extend this any further. This needs at least 1, maybe 2. So let's start with the 4 here, I would say. Because that doesn't make any difference if I do this or that. And this is the more logical solution, because here I would be forced up with the yellow one, cutting off the green one, right? So this has to be like this. Here I can't cut this path off, so I have to go like this. And then indeed, the 5 there, that's how to complete this. How many do I have here? 10. This is 9. We can complete this already. This needs 10. We have 10 here. This is also complete. This has 2, and this needs 2. So you can only complete it like this now. Huh? So, 44 puzzles. 2 difficulty 5 puzzles now. Let's start with the one in the front here. So we need to extend out of these regions. We need different shapes. The 4 must be completed like this, which means this 4 can only have this shape. We need another S that must be like this. Here we have a 2 now. The 2 can't be there. Here the 3 we can look at next. Again, we need different shapes, which means this one has to be the corner. This one has to be the straight one. Here we need another corner like this. And then let's look at the 4s. Would something be like this be possible? To have 1 and 1? Yes, we have minimum. Oh no, we have a minimum 2. Yeah, I didn't even see that. I didn't look at that. I'm getting a bit tired again. So this Gemini sign must be part of the 4, right? Like, or could I have, like this would be the alternative to connect them, but then we have 2 and 3. There's no way around that. Can't separate this into 1 and 2, right? Because we need at least 2. So, yeah, somehow they need to, like the 4 needs to be part of this. Like I can't, so it has to be this, right? I can't do that here. So I need to include the 4, that's a T, and that fits perfectly. So we have 2 T's here. What do we, we need 2 here. Yeah, that can be like this. Or like this. Sorry, depending on the shape here. So let's look at this shape here. Can we have a 2 here? That we need another 2 like this, or potentially like this. But this is not possible because the 5 would be this, and you can't copy that, right? So what about this? Then you would have a 5 like this. Like you could also think about this, but you can't recreate this here, right? That would be like this, violating the Gemini sign. So this would fit, but then you would have a shape of 1 here. Yeah. So that's also not an option here, a 2. You could think of a 3, but then you wouldn't be able to complete the 5. And the more tiles you add, the worse it gets. Obviously you need to add the 5 here. Now you can't create a P, because then again you have a tile of 1 here. What about a T? Can't copy that down here. Yeah, that's it. You need to extend it like this. There's no other option. Which means here you need this. You have a 2 tile section here now. And now you have 3 and 2 here. Which is perfect like that. Okay. Difficulty 5. That's the last puzzle for today. Oh man, yeah, it's good. I'm getting quite... Now my concentration is waning. So we have a range between 2 and 3. That means here we need 2. We also need 2 here, so that has to be a 3. We need at least 2 here. We need 2 here. Oh, we have a mingle shape also. So this one can be a 3 basically, with a 2 up there. It can't be a 2, because then we would have another 3 like this there, which is not allowed, so this has to be a 3 indeed. And we have a 2 here. This one then must be a 3 corner. We need at least 2 here. We can't make this a corner, because we have one right next to it. So we need 2 here, at least. And now only one of them can be a 2, right? If this was a 3, we would need another 2 here. So that's not possible. We need the 3 here, and this is a 2. That in turn means this has to be a 3 corner because of these 2. And this then can't be a 2 because of this shape. It has to be a 3 straight. What's going on here? All these can't be 3 straights. Delete these. And yeah, in fact, what you can see is that this can't be a 2 like this, because you would have another 2 right next to it. Also can't be a 2 like... No, it can be a 2 like this. then you would have this. This would be a 2. This is like, I found this also difficult the last time I solved this. I'm not sure what the easy deduction is here. Like you could ask, like this can't be a English. Oh, maybe we draw this border first of all. I totally forgot about this one. So this has to extend here then. Can this be a 3? Like a corner 3? Then this would have to stay a 2 or become a straight 3. Oh yeah, I can't extend this there, because then I have them next to each other, so let's draw the border there. But this could be a corner, and this a 2. No, that's also not possible, I can't go there. This would have to stay a 2, and then here I would need a straight 3, right? But I can't do that because of this straight 3 here. So there has to be a border here, which means this is a straight 3. Something's moving out of here. One of these two is a corner 3, which means it would touch this one. This can't be a straight 3 anymore, so it has to be a 2 because, again, like one of these two is a corner 3. Oh, yeah, and it must be this one because this is a 2 now, right? Yeah, that's this puzzle. Okay. What was it now? 6, 10, 17, 25, 31 puzzles in this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope what I like sort of deduced made sense. I hope I could get my point across. I hope there weren't too many mistakes in there. The next video will cover everything up to the castle gate, so that's 4 sections, and that's 29 puzzles, I think. So will be about the same length. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you'll check out the next one. And as always, let me say,